And to trending now. Trending over the weekend was reaction to a remarkable interview given by Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle. Now, Prince Harry amazingly confirmed rumours that he and his brother, Prince William, weren't getting on. Not very, well, certainly not since Harry met Meghan.
We're brothers, we'll always be brothers. We're certainly on different paths at the moment, but I will always be there for him, and as I know, he'll always be there for me. You know, we don't see each other as much as we used to because we're so busy. But you know, I love him dearly, and you know, the majority of the stuff is the majority of stuff is created out of nothing. But you know, it's just, as I said, as brothers, you know.
And Meghan Markle almost cried when talking about how the British media had been so mean to her.
It's not enough to just survive something, right? Like, that's not the point of life. You've got to thrive, you've got to feel happy, and I think I really tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip.
It has its, you know, it has its advantages, I guess.
I really tried, but I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging, and the biggest thing that I know is that I never thought that this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair, and that's the part that's really hard to reconcile.
Joining me is Daisy Cousens, who runs her own video channel and is also a contributor to the Spectator Australia. Daisy, wonderful to see you again. What did you make of this interview?
Look, it was an interesting one. I mean, there are people who might say that Meghan and Harry are victims of a nasty media. Look, I can think of a lot of words for Meghan and Harry, but victims is not one of them. If you look at, say, Meghan Markle, I mean, my goodness, for goodness sake, the fact she's going on about how the point of life has to be happy and to thrive and not just to survive something is evidence of just how privileged she is. She's revealed it right there. Now, if you look at the language she uses, saying she didn't think it would be easy, but she thought it would be fair, she's implying very much that the media is, as you say, being mean to her. But define mean. There is a difference between the media being mean and it being critical. So if you look at examples of some royals in the past that the media has definitely been mean to, one is, of course, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, who was relentlessly ridiculed about her weight. And in fact, she was called the Duchess of Pork, which is an incredibly unkind nickname. And then, of course, the most obvious example is Princess Diana, who was ruthlessly battered by the media and the paparazzi for years. And in fact, they hounded her to her death. Those are examples of the media being mean to someone. Now, look at Meghan Markle. There have been no comments about her, nothing disparaging about her appearance or her sexuality or her weight. I haven't actually seen anything disparaging about her race, none of that. So what's the media doing? They are being critical of her because she is not following the rules. There is a very big difference between being a Hollywood starlet, where you can do whatever you want and notoriety and wokeness and activism adds to your reputation, and being a member of the royal family, which is a 1,000-year-old institution and has a set of protocol that members of it must follow. It's more like being in a workplace than in a family, certainly in the public sense. And Meghan has simply refused to do that, quite self-consciously. She's come in, I'm sure of it, as this sort of radical woke American who thinks she's going to come in and revolutionize the royal family and change everything up and be this sort of poster girl for progressivism, and it simply hasn't happened, and it is not going to. So now I'm sorry. She's
the thing is, she doesn't work like the royals. I mean, she's taken quite a number of holidays. Obviously, it also took time off for a child, but then excluded the media from that. But look at what she's actually been criticised most for. I mean, it's things like preaching global warming while the next moment taking, what was it, 6 flights on a private jet, you know, things like that. The hypocrisy was that. And then, the media's being cruel to her. She actually was guest editor of a Vogue cover where she, again, the lecturing, you know, promoting people like Greta Thunberg and all that. And then the things like going to Wimbledon to watch Serena Williams, not a British girl, by the way, Serena Williams at Wimbledon, and then forcing out everyone from the VIP box so she could just sit with her friends with a little, you know, cordon sanitaire around her. I mean, hello, this is not being the press being mean. They're saying you're not behaving like you should.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. And this is one of the most important rules of the royals she's broken, Andrew, and is that she hasn't remained apolitical. The rule of the royals is that you have to remain apolitical. And not only has she not done that in terms of all her climate change preaching, she's also been incredibly woke in other areas. For instance, she made noises a little while ago that UK university curriculums in the humanities needed to be changed because there were too many white men on the authors list. And we're referring to people like Shakespeare, Byron and Coleridge here, who are the fathers of the English literature canon, and she's talking about tossing them out because they're the wrong race and gender. Then, of course, as you mentioned, there was the guest editing of the Vogue editorial that had Greta Thunberg on the cover. She's breaking rules here. The Wimbledon thing, of course, no royal has the right to say you can't take photos of me. Again, that's something a Hollywood starlet can do. There are even things like holding hands in public with Harry. The royals aren't meant to show each other affection in that way. Or right down to the dress code. She breaks the dress code. She wears black to occasions that aren't funerals. They are very, very, very specific rules. If you compare her to, say, Kate Middleton, she came into the royal family and she played the game. She followed the rules. She did the right thing. She remained apolitical, and she's having a wonderful time. Meghan Markle can't waltz in as some sort of radical.
I'm sure this is restrictive to someone who likes playing, as you say, the Hollywood radical. But the point is, in exchange for the taxpayer funding, the hero worshipping, the wonderful status, you've got to earn it. You know, you can't just grab it and say, now I'm going to make the rules my way. It doesn't work that way. You've inherited something. But, you know, I noticed that she and Harry now talking about taking another 6 weeks off and spending in America, and then maybe going to Africa. That's the focus of their lives, they reckon, and they may go and live there. I wonder why the British taxpayer is paying for any of this. So just quit the royal game then and just go.